Let's click the first option under Assessment Structure to see a visual representation of the assets in our risk assessment. You can see that the assets in the default structure are divided across tiers. So what is the purpose of these tiers? Well, sometimes a control that is used to mitigate a particular threat is relevant to more than just one asset in the risk assessment structure. If this happens a lot, you could be providing an implementation status for the same control over and over again unnecessarily. Ideally, you should only need to provide the status once, and all of the relevant controls will be updated accordingly. This is where the concept of inheritance comes into play. You'll notice that if you roll over each of the assets to highlight them, other assets in the structure also become highlighted. That's because a relationship of inheritance has been established between them. We'll focus on the physical and environmental asset for a moment by pinning the relationship. What this means is that the physical and environmental asset is a child asset of the organization asset, and the data center and records assets are child assets of the physical and environmental asset. If the same control is in place under each of these four assets, mitigating the exact same threat, all you would need to do is provide an implementation status for the control under the organization asset, and the other three in the tiers below would automatically be answered, thus reducing your workload and eliminating any duplication of effort. If you view an asset's properties, you can see its established parent assets listed in the genealogy section. This shows that the data center is in Tier 3 and is a child asset of the physical and environmental and organization assets. The parent asset for this asset can be chosen with this field. Unless you are building your assessment structure from scratch, or are wanting to make changes to the inheritance properties of specific assets, you shouldn't feel obligated to make changes to the settings here for the default structure.